First of all, thank you all for being here. I know we're in a really tight spot in relation to competition. There are other really great sessions out there. So thank you for being here. You might have had a long day with a lot of impressions. So let's just have a really good time the next hour and 15 minutes. I really want to start asking you a question, which is, how many of you have actually been working or are working in a company that have spent a lot of bucks just creating and implementing visual corporate ID? Let me just see your hands.
Define a lot of bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's a few of you. And that corporate visual ID identity is can be seen in your stationery, your homepage, of course, and of course, sometimes you can also see it in the decor of your offices. Right?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We can ask a similar question. So, how many of you can actually can see that identity in your product portfolio management tools? Please raise your hand.
That's actually quite a few of you. All right. So this is actually the point of our session.
Yes, today we're going to talk about how you can make a really nice looking layout in your platform using tools that are simple to use and also to available to most companies or employees. Yeah, I've started out by telling a little about myself, and then Dariana will present herself afterwards. My name is Mathias Leesmann. I'm working at Projectum. I'm working as a business consultant, so I'm out with the customers. I really like working with building tools. I've been doing that for almost all my professional working time. So, and I especially like it when it's adding value to the processes and making them more efficient. Before I came to Projectum, I was working at Lego. Some of you might have seen a session earlier by Lego. I was there for a little above 6 years. And my main responsibilities in Projectum is doing pre-sales and working as a business consultant. And now on to you.
Yeah. So my name is Dariana, and I work together with Mathias in Projectum. I have a background as a musician and also a travel agent in a travel agency. So my skills are they vary a lot. I love doing process management, service management, but I also have this creative side of me that I just need to fulfill at times. So doing this PPM design consultancy really talks to my creative side. And besides that, I also work as service manager for the support department in Projectum. So I get all my skills of, I drive of all my skills. So that's basically it. So the session objections of this session is to learn how to make simple and powerful user-friendly layouts in your project web app without knowing how to code, that is. So.
Yeah, and you can ask, why is this important? A thing that we experience a lot is that a nice layout can do a lot to your employees eager to use your system, and also for the user-friendliness of the system. So this is basically why it's important. And we already covered the first 2 points. Let's just go through the rest of the day. We have 2 parts of the presentation. I'm doing one part and Diana is doing the other part. And Diana is mostly focused on the design. And I am more into the technical stuff. After that, we will sum up what we have been through during the session, and we will, of course, have room for questions and answers at last.
Yeah, so basically, this is how we do it in our company. We have all the design part done by a designer, and then afterwards we deliver it to the technicians to implement it in the environment. So we're going to just do it like that, and I'm going to show you how to actually create some user-friendly pictures to put onto your PWA.
Yeah,
and also your project detail pages, also known as PDPs. And last but not least, also the reporting part.
Yeah, and I'll focus on how you should implement these nice-looking layouts.
Mm-hmm. So let's move forward to how do you actually get started. When I first started doing this, I made tons of mistakes, and you get to know what works, what does not work. So basically, what you're seeing here might as well be a web page. However, this is actually an example of how your project web access could look. And we have incorporated the corporate identity of the biggest Danish bank in Denmark. And this is how the front page looked, and also an example of the PDP, the project detail page. And this is actually how the pilot looked. And because the first draft will never be the final draft, of course. So the final look of the PWA does not look like this. We had to incorporate other elements into the design. And so, sorry. In order to start in a nice fashion and to avoid all of the mistakes that I learned when I first started, I have just gathered some examples of what you should actually do. And the most important thing is actually to collaborate with your customer if you have one. If you just want to implement it in your own environment, that's not going to be a problem. Then you only have yourself and your taste, your taste of design to struggle with. Nevertheless, find the right resources to work together with. Make sure you have the right data, the right information from your project manager and the customer project manager. And make sure that you do have access to, if they have a graphical designer, to collaborate with this person. Otherwise, you will just have to make the work over and over and over again, and that's not funny. We all want to avoid that, that's for sure. So the next point is MS PowerPoint. And you might get a bit surprised to hear that I actually do all of my designs in PowerPoint. Yeah. So we don't go use the other graphical software design that's out there, like CorelDRAW, Illustrator. I just use PowerPoint. And they do have some really cool features, and you can get great results. And I guess that we all know PowerPoint in this room, right? We all work with it at some point. So it's just to know some simple features and then learn how to work with them. The next thing is copyright. Don't go borrowing pictures from the web pages. Make sure that you actually have permission to use the pictures that you're using on the environment, of course. And often, if you're working with a customer, they do have image banks where you can have their pictures, so you will incorporate those pictures into your design. So it's very accessible to actually start doing this. Last is the screen resolution. You might be working on iPads, which have a different resolution from a normal laptop. So you would need to actually coordinate this with your customer if you have one, or of course with your organization. So by having these elements from the start, you can just go crazy and start designing, which is actually the fun part of it. But there is one thing. Everybody has their own taste in regards to design. So the more people you ask, the more confused you will be in regards to the design, because everybody will have an opinion on what's nice and what's not. So do have that in mind. So where do we want to implement the design? So Matthias and I were going to focus on these 3 areas, which is the project web app front page, the project detail pages, and the business intelligence area. And as you can see, and as you know, the 2013 version, they do actually have a really nice look and feel, and it's very intuitive and you know where to go. Nevertheless, it's just out of the box. You would want to incorporate your organization's ID into this. You can also do workflows, you can put the design into your project sites, and you can also do your templates. But we're not going to reveal all of our secrets to you, of course. So I'm going to leave that for me. Oh my God,
Hey
Matthias.
man, that's, yeah, I did that. That's really nice. Yeah, I was thinking this session we need to have some cool layout. I did that. Mm-hmm. You like it?
How do I put this?
I really like this font.
Yeah. And I know these are
Also
your favorite colors. Yeah.
Yeah, the green color. I especially like the green color.
Yeah, it's very Microsoft.
It's nice. Yeah.
Okay, how can we, I'm not going to say, well, how can I put this? How can we improve this picture? Delete. Yeah.
What?
That was a really... No, there are some certain things that you do have to have in mind, of course. And, oh, sorry, that's the right button. Oh, that's better, right? That's my slide.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
You can see the difference, right?
Yeah, I like the font as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you do have some things to consider here. It's the font, the size, the colors, maintaining the design guideline. Do you want to have movement or dynamic in your picture? And of course, the picture resolution, which is really important. So that's just an example of the pictures that you can see, of course, taken with a high resolution picture and a low resolution camera, of course. Cool. So next step is that I show you how to do this. And it's pretty simple if you ask me. You just have to follow some simple rules, and you can go home from this. Luckily, this is the last session because I know you would want to go home and try this out straight away. So let's see how we do it. I'm just going to go into edit mode. And this is actually my idea of a front page for Microsoft. So let's imagine that I'm doing the design for Microsoft. And we all know them. They have a really, really strong brand with the tiles, the strong colors, and really strong telling pictures with a strong story behind. So I have evaluated with the graphical designer, and we have come to this conclusion that the project page should look like this. No, sorry, the front page. The first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to take the picture. And I was thinking to make something really cool here, and that is to have the picture fading out. So what I want to do is I click on the box and I place it here, the bottom of the picture. I go to Format, and I just pin this to my right side. Choose Fill, and I want a gradient fill here. So, standard, you get all of these gradient stops, but I'm only interested in 2 stops, so I'm going to delete the 2 middle stops here. I'm going to position this 95%. And then on this first gradient stop, I'm going to say transparency 100%. Going to change the color to white, 100%. This I'm going to change to white as well. And there you have it. Just a really quick feature of how to make a picture look like it's fading. next step here is to create the zones. I have already discussed with my team members that we're going to have 5 different areas that the users can click on, and one of them is to create a new project, of course. So I'm going to create that zone with you. Again, I'm going to choose a box. This is where I want to place it. Standard, it's light green. I don't like that color. I'm going to change it. Solid, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to use this eyedropper feature. By doing this, I can maintain a guideline, a color guideline here, because I'm actually choosing the same colors that are already inside my picture. So this is a really nice thing to do. Then I like it to be transparent, let's say 50%. Oh, this is really cool. I like that. I am going to give it a shadow. I'm going to choose this one. So you do have a lot of options here, shadows. Just go home and try it and play with it. And then I have to write create project somewhere so people know that this is what they're doing. I'm going to have another box on top of this box. Again, I'm going to use solid fill. I'm going to go with, again, the eyedropper. I'm going to have it like the snow. Going to write create project after I've just chosen a color. There you go. Oh, that's a bit too big. Let me just, yeah, that's better. All right, so I just created my first area. And like on the TV kitchen, I've already created all the other layouts, so this is it, basically. So now you have 5 areas to click on, and you can actually have different designs in regards to the people. If you have managers, you can have another design with areas for them to click by using target audience. All right, next is the PDPs, the project detail pages. I'm going to start out with the same picture because I want to maintain the same design. Click on the picture, I say format, I want to crop something here, and I think I'm going to go for this zone here. Same procedure as before. Click escape. I'm just going to move that up a bit. Going to say home, and I'm going to choose a text box where I put in the name of my first PDP, which is going to be master data. All right, that was a bit too big. I'm going to just say 16 here. Sorry, there you go. And I think it's going to be wide like the other one, right? That looks nice. Something's missing here. Maybe I can put in an icon. So let me just do that here. There you go. Voila. The last thing here, in order to have it really cool looking, is to add, again, some shadow. So this is going to be on the first project detail page that you get. And then you can have several other designs like this one. And here I have already created all the project detail pages, the banners for this. Cool. So far, so good. The last thing that we want to do is to do something on the reporting part. And we all participated on the keynote this morning, I guess. And we saw some of the reports that you can do in Excel, and they're actually quite good looking. They're really nice. Again, sorry, I'm just going to go into this here. So I've already created the business intelligence area, and this is an example of one of the reports that are out of the box in your client. So now we have looked at how we can enhance your reports and do the look and feel like you like it. I'm just going to switch into edit mode and go a step back so that we can save the pictures and the banners so that Matthias can implement them into the PWA. Just going to save the pictures. Sorry, that was not right. Here you go. Right-click on all the objects that you have marked. Go Save Picture. Just going to save it on the desktop right now. Save. And the same goes for the banners that you made for the PDPs. So that was basically it for my part. Now I'm going to leave the power to Matthias, and he will show how to implement.
Thank you. So now that Dariana has showed you how to make these beautiful graphical elements, let's move on, and I'll show you how to implement it on your platform. But first, I would like to go through what we are gonna talk about. We have these three elements. We have the front page, the project detail pages, and we have the business intelligence platform. So this is what we are going to show you. Let's start with the front page. So what I want to do is to make the graphic that Dariana has made in PowerPoint a little more interactive. And I want to add zones and hyperlinks to make it link to the areas of the platform. For this, I'm going to use a service on the web called imagemaps.com. It's a free service on the web, and no registration is needed. You can just go ahead and use it. And I'll just show you how to do that. So let's go to imagemaps.com. This is the front page of ImageMaps, and here you can upload your file. So you press the Browse for File button, and you select your graphic file here. Press Open, and press on the Start Mapping button. And this is what it looks like when it's uploaded to imagemaps.com. And then you can start to do the image mapping. The way to do this is to right-click on your map here, or your image, sorry. You get a menu where you can select the shape that you want to use for the mapping. In this case, I'm going to select the rectangle. I'm just going to move this so you're able to see. And then you need to map your zone. And then you can type in a URL here and a title. I'm just going to type in Project Center, because this is the, the create project, because this is the function of this button. What happens when I enter a title here is when I hover this image, when it's implemented, is then the title will appear on the button. There's a lot of other fields, and you can find a description on the Help tab here, but I will not go further into that now. Then you can save this zone. And as you can see here, ImageMaps shows you how which zones you have mapped. Okay, as you can see here, we have now mapped the zone. We have added the URL and the title. So the strong thing about this service here is that you are able to get the HTML code for this mapping out of this web page. And the way to do that is to right-click on your image and select Get Code. You can move into the HTML code tab, and if you scroll down, you have the HTML code for the image mapping. So we would like to save this HTML code, and as we have no time to do all the mapping, we have prepared this HTML code in advance. So we are going to go ahead and use this. This is just to show you how to get the HTML output. So I'll go ahead and close down the image mapping here. And we will move back to the front page of the PWA. So what I want to show you now is how we can implement this HTML code on the front page. But first I'll go ahead and remove the default web parts so we are able to implement the graphic that Dariana has made. For this purpose we are using the content editor. It's a very, very strong web part. You can upload pictures to it and you can add HTML code, and this is what we're going to do right now. But I'll start out by removing these web parts so we have a clear screen. And then I'm going to add the content editor. So the way you can add the HTML code is by going on the ribbon here on the format text, and on the edit source button you're able to edit the HTML code in this web part. So I just need to get our prepared code here. And I will move into the edit source, paste my HTML code in here, like this. And as you can see here, I have cheated a bit. I've changed the source of the image to the URL in my platform where I have saved this picture. So for storing these graphical elements, we use the site collection images. And you have to do that because when you upload a picture to imagemaps.com, it's only stored temporary. So you have to change the source of the image and remember to upload it to your site collection images or another library on the platform. But now we have added the HTML code. We can go ahead and see if it works. It looks like it. So let's go ahead and close down this editing mode to test our front page. And we can just close this down so you can see what it looks like. And as you can see, the links come up here. We have the hovering text, Project Center. So let's go ahead and try and see if it works. It does. We get into the Project Center. So now we have done the front page. We can move on to the project detail pages. And what we want to do here is that we want to implement the banners that Dariana produced. We want to implement them on some of the project detail pages we have on the projects. So we open up a project here from Project Center. And let's start out with the master data page. It's working.
Still working.
it comes up here. You can see we have added the nice banner. What we have done here is, again, we have used the content editor web part, but now we have left out the code. We have no code here, we just have a picture. But the content editor is also able to handle this. So I'll just show you how you can do this. So we go into edit mode. And we click here. You have this insert tab, and you can upload a picture here from your computer or from an address in the platform or other places. So this is the way to upload the pictures. Let's just look through some of the other examples. Could be, for instance, a financial page where you have the budget. Just let it think.
So
you can
while
see it
we're
here.
waiting, I can just add that for the project detail pages, you wouldn't want to have a picture that is too high. Keep them narrow and make sure not having to drill down too much, because otherwise you have to scroll down in order to fill in your data. Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can see an example of a budget that is time-phased, and then we have the nice banner here. Last but not least, the risk analysis page, where we have implemented some nice graphics to show this rather complex information. So this is just also to show you how you can use apps to improve your usability of your project detail pages. You can use it to make a lot of information very very graphical and nice to look at. So it's more user-friendly. All right. So consider using apps to improve your visual experience as well. Let's move on to the last part of the presentation, or the demo here, which is that we want to show you how you can make reports. So we have here the business intelligence part of the platform, and as you might notice, we are using an HTML page here to make a common entry for the reports. You could like a reporting portal. We have made this HTML page with the banner also, as Dariana made earlier, and we are using the promoted links to link to the individual reports. So this is to make a nice looking entry for our reporting environment. But what we want to show you now is how you can upload a report and then make these promoted links to the report. So let's go ahead and move into the reporting library. And the first thing I want to do is to upload the report. So I take the Excel file that Dariana has made here, and I'll add it. So we can just show you that it actually works out of the box, because Excel web services are running here. So you can actually, when you have uploaded it, you can view the report directly. So next step is to make the promoted link. And the way to do that is to go into site settings. Site contents. Go into the promoted links. And to be able to edit this, you need to change the view. You need to change it to all promoted links. So now we are able to add a new item here. So we would like to give it a title. It could be project cost report. We need to have the link for the image. And to do that, we go into, I've cheated a bit here. I put in a secret link here. So I go to the site collection images, and I get the URL for this picture I want to use on this link. Copy that. I'll go back and type it in the background image location. Then I need to type in a description. It could be track the actual costs of a project. And then I need to add the link for the report. So to do this, I go into the reporting folder. I will select the report and copy the link. Is that, yeah, it's the right one. And we go back, add the URL here. So, last thing we need to do is to specify how should this report open. We can select in the same page, in a dialog box, or in a new tab. But we will just, for this purpose, we will select the same page. And then I save the link, and it should be all set. So we move back to the business intelligence, and we can see the promoted links working here. So when you hover it, you get the description, and you have the background image, and we are able to open it up in Excel web app. So this is an easy way to make your reports. Okay, this concludes the demo. You can find a step-by-step description of what we have showed you in our slide deck. So, but let's go back to the slides to conclude this session.
Let's do that. And for this, I will just show you some examples of how to actually create some cool designs in your PWA. So here we have just taken a picture and uploaded it as a background picture. So this faded picture that you see in the background will show on all the pages. And this is also standard in Project Server. So they do have other templates that you can just use, and they're really cool looking. Another example here, if you cannot find, you're not in your creative zone, you can just use SmartArt and just choose some cool pictures that you like and coordinate with the colors accordingly. So this is just a front page made in SmartArt. Next one with a scenic view. It's a really nice, relaxing picture to look at. This is a more fun example of how you can do it. And, well, this is more down to earth. I don't know which company would go with for that, but it's a nice looking one. And the cool one. So you can have it really minimalistic and just, yeah, have something really cool design. So this is basically it for us. I think we got around all of the different aspects of doing design, and hopefully we have given you some inspiration to go home and try it yourselves, so you're not stuck with the default template that the project, your PWA offers. So we have given you some design guidelines, what to remember, what to not to do. Matthias, with the green and the pink,
yeah, okay.
That's a no-go.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I've learned. Thank you.
And we showed you not as much hands-on as we would have liked to, however, just the design part of it, and then, yeah, the slides for the implementation part.
Yeah, download the slides. It's a step-by-step guide to what we wanted to show up here.
So, yeah, if you want to know more, we have two pretty good-looking guys standing at our booth and waiting for you to come in and ask questions. And of course, Matthias and I will always also be there. Yeah, you are good looking. Yeah, I know. So thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now. Yeah?
So were the issues you were having, is that related to online project online?
I wish I could say no, but yeah. Yeah, it's been struggling.
So is your slide deck on the conference?
It is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a step-by-step?
Yeah.
It's a step-by-step guide how to implement this. So the design part is like you're on your own with your taste, but hopefully you can do it. And of course you can use other software if you're into that. However, by using MS PowerPoint and even MS Paint, you can come a really, really long way. So, yeah?
So you showed on PDP putting a banner there.
Mm.
Put a background picture there and have your data superposed above?
You can do that, but it's going to be the same picture on all pages, so on both on the front page and on all the PDPs.
The first example slide that Dariana showed, where there was this dim picture in the background, it will also go through to the project detail pages.
And that's just standard. You just go into to site settings and the look and feel, and then you just drag and drop the picture that you want. And that's pretty easy to do, actually. Yeah? Other questions? Yeah?
Project detail pages, can you change the font and the background so it looks like the 2010 version of the project detail pages?
So you're asking if you can change the font in the background so it looks...
Of the actual content, like the field names and the text boxes. In 2010 it had a shading and gray and a much smaller font.
I think so that you can actually go and do this, yes, also in the look and feel
Yeah,
part.
look and feel section.
Yeah, the look and feel session. You didn't find...
It's in the 2013, but it's in. No, yeah, I don't know if I can
we
show
don't
you.
know.
We just try. Maybe we are lucky. So. So you go to site contents. Oh, sorry. Site settings. So you have this design manager, title description and logo. In there somewhere, I think you change the look. It's kind of guided. You have some possibilities there. I don't know if there's anything that matches, but this is where you should work with the layout.
Here you have the fonts. Is that what you're referring to?
I don't want to change it on every page.
On every page.
Just the project detail pages.
All right, like that. So that's a good question. I have not really tried that actually, so I wouldn't be able to answer, unfortunately. Nothing else? All right, guys, thank you so much for coming on this last session today. Thank you.
Thank you.